What is happening to altcoins? The crypto market is slowly bleeding out here, guys, and it does not look too good at the moment. I want to talk about it today, talk about, macro events, and maybe have a look at some charts that we haven't done so for a while and kind of see how things are playing out, because it does feel like we are in a bit of a funny period now. We've seen Bitcoin just kind of struggling in that 60 to 70k region, not really sure where to go, slowly going up, slowly coming back down, and now we are kind of bleeding out a bit more again, and altcoins are looking particularly volatile and some are looking very weak. So let's get on into it. Now, if you enjoy the content, make sure you smash up the like, really appreciate that. And if you are new here for the first time, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, select all notifications, go back and watch all our previous videos, and we've got a whole host of crypto content coming out all the time. So let's get on into it. Start off on CoinMarketCap today, guys. Just want to look pretty much what is going on across the board. So Bitcoin down 4% on the day. Now that's come without any significant kind of news here. So we are just getting some volatility. Obviously 4% is fairly decent pullback on Bitcoin, considering nothing major seems to be happening out there at the moment. Stock market not currently open at time of recording, but will be open shortly. Ethereum, very similar. And Solana down 8%, XRP down 4%, Doge down 6%, but Doge did have a bit of a rally into that. It's similar with TON down 7%, but TON is one coin that's doing absolutely brilliant at the moment. Inside the top 10, currently holding ninth in terms of market cap, over $5. If you go back and watch videos, you'll see that the TON coin video I did months ago, calling this one out early, and it's done very well since. Cardano, again, pretty flat. A whole host of these altcoins. AVAX, we got the short, as you guys know, from $60 down, and that is kind of down to where we shorted it down to at the moment. So not really getting a strong bounce. Some of these altcoins that did have that flash down last week, they had a bit of a mini rally, but not a lot is happening at the moment. So everyone kind of thinking, is this a strong DCA period or not? Leave us a comment below if you think it is. Again, Chainlink down 4%, Matic down 5%. So again, pretty much across the board, altcoins in that sort of 5 to 8% down. We've got Hedera down 11% here, but we know why that one is. Extreme amount of volatility on that, as you can see, up 46% on the 7 days. And it was much higher at one stage, covered in yesterday's HBAR video. If you haven't gone and seen that yet, go and check it out. So let's get into the charts, guys, because right now I'm going to start off on Bitcoin dominance, because I haven't talked about this one for a while. Mentioned we had to get out of this area of resistance, which was holding around about 54-55%. Now, a lot of people, when we first got up there, which was back in December, said that was absolutely it. There's no way this is going higher. You guys know, if you've been following the channel, I said this does not look bearish at all to me. This is only going one direction. Bitcoin is looking extremely strong to me, and I do not think that altcoins are in a bull market yet. And I made my arguments why, and I think that's been fairly vindicated over the last 3 or 4 months so far, and now certainly that we've seen a higher high on Bitcoin dominance, which was about 10-11 days ago here, as we did get up to nearly 57%. That was on that day, of course, when altcoins had big liquidation event. There was actually a lot of liquidation in crypto as a whole. Of course, Bitcoin price action did drop on that day, but altcoins got hit a lot harder. So again, seeing a little bit of a pullback now. We're now back at the higher 54% boundary, which was previous resistance, but we may find support here, and I still don't think this is cooked. I was looking for that 57.2 target. Okay, we fell just short, but I've got 60% marked to the upside, and it would not surprise me if we are in some kind of multi-year bear market, especially for altcoins. Yes, it's a confusing picture because Bitcoin's gone higher, some altcoins have gone higher, but the vast majority haven't. But I've talked about it before on the show. I do think we are in a complex market period. It's not being given to us easy like the bull market of 2020 2021 was, where you could essentially throw your money at 10 coins and there was a good chance that 9 if not 10 of them were going to make you money. I do not think we are in that period, and there's definitely definitely certain assets, and even in crypto, certain projects that are just going to do naturally a lot better than others, and especially in this period. So difficult, not an easy time to trade either. Again, we know the vast majority of people are not successful trading, and those that are more often successful, especially in crypto, are those who just manage the dollar cost average and hold on. So none of this is financial advice, but I always talk about, diversifying into altcoins if you are going to invest in any altcoins at all, because they are such high risk. So the more you're invested in, I think you have, a better chance of essentially spreading your bets. So altcoins, again, just try and dollar cost average low, but I do not think we're going to see those crazy bull market pump just yet, because again, Bitcoin dominance still looking strong. I think there's still some concerns in macro markets. So back on the charts, just want to talk about Bitcoin just for a bit of fun before we move on. We put on the channel back in December, I talked about the potential Bitcoin moonshot fractal. Once we kind of seen Bitcoin coming off the lows in the summer, and it kind of looked like, okay, this isn't slowing down now. Once we'd, comfortably broken above mid 30k. Of course, initially, I always held my hand up and said I was expecting the rally from the low. Wasn't surprised when we got back into the mid 30s, but I kind of thought that that's where this would stop and we may head to lower lows. Now, I'm still not completely writing off lower lows on Bitcoin despite a higher high. It's just that essentially this rally went a lot higher than I expected. And then that's, when we start talking about, well, we could be in, a serious bull market, which I do not believe has been confirmed yet. And that, could potentially play out on this Bitcoin moonshot fractal. So it was actually looking pretty good here right up until the end of March. So, this was looking good for 3 months. And you're thinking, oh my word, is this actually happening? Are we actually going to 150 to $200,000 Bitcoin? And then basically we've come into this month of April, and then things are starting to drop a little bit, go a little bit sideways, and this is where there seems to be a lot of uncertainty in the market of where to go next. So managed to set a new all-time high. But if this was a true bull market, in my opinion, which I'm still just not quite yet convinced it is, I would have expected us to just keep blasting through a bit, maybe get through 80,000, 85,000, then, get a decent correction, and then off you go. So the fact that the brakes came on, yes, new all-time high, but not a massive new all-time high. Again, linking into uncertainty in the market, seeing a similar thing on gold. Yes, gold's gone higher, but, again, not blasting through. The dollar index is high, not quite there yet. Dow Jones set a new high, which we'll come on to a moment, but again, not blasting through. So it's almost like markets are feeling like potentially toppy for a few years, like this kind of multi-year period here. At the same time, you've got a lot of people expecting, oh, it's clear things have topped out, they can't squeeze much higher, we need to have a huge crash. But then the crash hasn't come as such. Yes, there was what happened in 2020, but that wasn't really a genuine market crash. That was a very extreme, unexpected event, and it didn't last for a long period to be that multi-year bear market, which has been seen in equities markets in over many different decades in history. So again, a lot of people may be expecting that more prolonged multi-year bear market, but just not knowing when it is coming. But again, huge emphasis is going to be on what happens with interest rates, especially in the US. We're constantly hearing about CPI maybe creeping back up. Things again maybe looking a little bit better in the UK, but not still great. So again, so much investment, so much great run, heading to new all-time highs, was betting on interest rate cuts, but those interest rate cuts have not come yet. And if they get further delayed, or dare I say do not happen, or even worse, there are more rate hikes, I do think there's a great chance that these markets could roll over significantly. So want to talk about total free. Let's just get back into the crypto a second, because talked about again, it's still not looking disastrous yet. Yes, some people are very kind of fed up with some altcoin price action at the minute, But again, this is why, let's be positive here. For the bullish case, there's still a decent argument at the moment that this could be a decent area to be dollar cost averaging into, solely because it still looks like we have 5 waves up on total free. For those who aren't aware, total free being the entire market cap of cryptocurrency, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is essentially all your alts. And we should have been due a decent correction, which we've potentially had, and which is potentially finished here around about the 560 billion. But what is key for me, we had it marked up as resistance. We managed to break through. We fell back in. Importantly, as we dropped out, then we've bounced back up again. So volatile period, even just on altcoins. But if we can climb back above this area of resistance, which we are in at the moment, and hold above, things are looking good. But more importantly, if we drop down here, it still would be okay for a deeper correction in the long run, as long as we kind of hold above this 457 billion target. Again, I've had this marked up for a long time. This is the kind of area I'm looking for altcoins to hold above for a significant period. And when I say significant period, I'm not talking days, I'm not talking a few weeks, we're talking at least a few months. Once we can hold above these kind of levels, it makes it look like you're not going back there. Once it looks like you're not going back there, then that's when you're going to get more confidence coming into the market, and it looks like we are going to finally get that true altcoin bull market. So if this is just a wave one to the upside, again, it could be playing out nice and slow, which is okay. Good accumulation time. Again, maybe drop down a bit lower, but let's hold above this 450 and then off we go. Of course, though, again, not to be negative, just have to literally tell it how it is, as we always do on the channel. If that breaks, guys, things can turn very different very fast. So let's just see what happens. I'm kind of feeling that at the minute, though, risk reward is still there in dollar cost averaging into altcoins that haven't shot up yet. I've talked about, again, like the likes of Toncoin. I wouldn't be buying Toncoin now personally. Again, not financial advice, but I'm looking at coins that haven't completely taken off yet. I've had a decent run, but I still think I've got much more room to the upside. The likes of Jasmy, the likes of HBAR, etc. So I still think that those are at good prices at the moment. Now, if you want to win any altcoins, of course, you can at cryptcomps.com. You can win up to £10,000 worth. That's over $12,000 in competition 8. All you have to do is go to cryptcomps.com and essentially buy yourself a ticket. You can also enter competition 9 for just £1 and win £1,000 worth. And of course, the beauty of it is once you enter the competitions, you can win any cryptocurrency of your choice, whether you want Bitcoin, altcoin, stable coins. If you are the lucky winner of this competition, you get to choose the prize. So good luck to anyone who enters. So if you haven't checked out cryptcomps.com yet, definitely go and do that. So altcoins, it's going to be key what happens here in the next couple of weeks. Again, like I said, not a huge amount of news dragging the whole markets down, but it could just be the macro environment and traders taking essential profits. And if we look at the Dow Jones, I think we haven't looked at this for a while, but I think it's key. Obviously, we've got this all-time high set off, and again, another incredible rally. And this rally really did surprise me. Again, I thought maybe we'd potentially rally maybe back up to 37,000. But the way it just kept going, breaking out of an ascending wedge. And it was a superb run, and we of course went to new all-time high, 39,900. And now the US stock market is on the biggest losing streak since back September last year, which again is not surprising when you just see how much of a rip it is. So it just seems like instead of chopping slowly up or chopping down, we're kind of going in one direction a lot for quite a few weeks. I mean, you've seen it here: big run up, big run up, big run down, big run up. So not a huge sideways period. Yeah, you could argue that there was a bit more of a sideways period here and here, but of recently, things again looking volatile, kind of going with the trend, but the trend is cooling off at the moment. Now, again, this 37,700 back testing, the breakout on that ascending wedge got touched beautifully last week, and again we're getting potentially pulled back down. If we can hold here, I think again decent chance new all-time highs again. However, if this breaks, then I think next target is going to be around about 35,000. Nobody wants to see a break of 35,000 if they are long in these markets, in my opinion, especially because if we break 35,000, then I do believe then the stock market will be entering new bear market essentially, and we could finally say that the top is potentially in for quite a long time. When we initially thought the top was in potentially over here, back in late 2021, early 2022, and thought that this was going to be a bear market, a rally and come down, which didn't play out. That was my primary expectation at the time over here, but we essentially just corrected down, and then we went off for another wave to the upside to set new all-time highs. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next here. So whether you're just in the stock markets or you're in crypto, if you're just in crypto, you do not really want to see that Dow Jones breaking that level. Again, I've talked about it a lot on the channel. In my opinion, a lot of these markets are fully correlated. Bitcoin is definitely correlated with the stock market, whether you like it or not. Of course, we can have news like ETF news, this and that, etc., which you'll have good periods where Bitcoin will outperform the stock market. But we've seen also plenty of times in the last 2 years where the stock market has also outperformed Bitcoin. And you've got assets that have done crazy, like the likes of Nvidia, for instance.